What's going on, everybody? It looks like I finally got my episode that I've been waiting for of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They finally got to the racial stuff. I'm so happy. I'm so glad it was done the way it was done. Let's get into talking about everything. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't so far. I do weekly videos for all the shows that I'm watching, do movie reviews, do spoiler chats. I got a weekly recap show called The Whole Week. Subscribe so you can catch all that stuff. Drop comments. This week's big question for Falcon and the Winter Soldier is only for black people. So sorry, but black people are the ones with the perspective on this one. If you were Sam, would you have chosen the way he's apparently chosen to take up the mantle as the Black Captain America? The main focus of my video here is not to be talking about the episode, but really to talk about that decision and how the two sides of the coin were presented in this week's episode. So looking at Isaiah Bradley, I am a person who totally identifies with Isaiah Bradley, even though I really can't look to any super duper negative experiences like he has. I identify more with him. If you take me and put me in Sam's position, I choose not to be the Black Captain America, mainly because of this. The idea that a black man holding that shield and bearing those stars and stripes, it puts, I think in Sam's mind, it probably puts a positive connotation on it, like inspiring the youth to think, yes, we can do this too. But I'm of the mindset of a history teacher and a person who knows his history, and with all the things that have been portrayed and done against black people in America, I can't with good conscience say that I will represent this America to the entire world and uphold all these values that the country, quite frankly, never upheld when dealing with its black citizens. Now, when I say that, that is not to condemn anybody who would say, yes, I would choose that choice. To be quite frank with you, I'm actually quite proud and quite happy that Sam did choose to become the Black Captain America, in spite of knowing Isaiah's story, in spite of knowing his own history and our own history of black people here in America. I have a very strange perspective of how you should approach things. When I say that, this is what I mean. Personally, I believe that I've always been a person who could be described as a person that marched to the beat of their own drum. I never let what someone else thinks, feels, or has an opinion of bother me in what I feel I should be doing. There's multiple times throughout my life where people may have felt like I shouldn't do what I'm doing, but I knew for me, this is the best decision to be making. And if Sam arrived at that same conclusion, I'm happy that they did it. For Sam to hear everything Isaiah Bradley said and then think to himself, kind of along the lines of what his sister Sarah said in the episode when she said, if everything Isaiah went through happened and you don't take up the shield, it's kind of like it all happened for nothing. I feel that angle and I respect that angle, and if that's the Sam's angle, I get it. One thing that I'm really hoping about for this final episode is just the way they rolled out John Walker, Captain America, and had him in front and had him do a press release and a press tour and all this stuff. I really hope Sam gets to speak his piece and actually give his reasons as to why to the public, just because it would help justify his decision in the eyes of those who may strongly disagree and really feel more like Isaiah Bradley. Isaiah Bradley's words were like, no self-respecting black man would feel that way. And I feel like there's a large portion of African Americans that would also identify with that. And I know we're talking about a show in like a fictional world, but in the world of the MCU, the MCU's version of America, I'm sure that there's quite a few blacks that would look at Sam and say, nah, son, like you can't get out here and do that. Like you can't really be representing America like wholeheartedly, like stop. So with that being said, I'm really hoping that Sam has the opportunity to get on stage or like be on TV and actually speak his perspective and give his reasoning, not to not to win people over, but to at least have peace of mind, and for people to say, for people that would exist in that world to feel like, okay, I don't agree with what he's doing, but at least he has his own personal reasons for doing it. The only thing that I think I don't like from the episode is the fact that we didn't get Sam's like really vocal reasons as to why he chose to do it. I know his sister said something, and I kind of alluded to that earlier, but it's like I would like to see, again, Sam get that opportunity to voice, not just to the camera, like the viewing audience, but to the audience of that MCU version of America. Hey, this is what I'm doing this for, because I believe this way. And truly, when we're looking at the virtues that were put on display, when we examine all the characters across the MCU, the only two people who could stand in place for Steve Rogers would have to be Rhodey or Sam. And you know, we haven't spent enough time with Rhodey, and we will when he gets his show. But from what we see from Sam, to me, in this series, Sam has put on all the best qualities that a Steve Rogers would have. And I'm very glad that eventually he's gonna come out with that shield and at least have a moment in the sun as the Black Captain America. So looking forward to seeing that. Just thinking about it out loud though, there's so many parallels to real life that like parallel with the show. I heard at one point that they were doing a viral type of virus pandemic, terror attack, genetically modified viruses storyline, and that was the vaccines that they were stealing in the beginning first few episodes, but they dumped that when the pandemic hit. It's like, that's smart. But now we have the Flag Smashers in episode 5 gathering outside of New York to stop a council or a group of people from voting. Like, that's very reminiscent of what happened in the capital of DC January 6th. And it's like, I'm sure these people had no idea. This was written and put into production long before. But at the same time, it's like, wow, like y'all striking a lot of coincidental parallels. And I find that interesting. I know they're not doing it on purpose, but it's just weird that things are playing out that way. And it seems like, I'm not sure about the rewrites and the script changes, but it seems like they've had to do it twice, which is, it's a big deal. Very forward-thinking people. Last thing I would like to mention, that's really more related to the episode and have everybody on board. It's like, I know people have been pushing and people truly believe that Sharon Carter is the power broker, but I've seen all those same things, like when she left the shipping yard, she had a driver, and then later on she had a group of armed men with her. She got a satellite, and now she called in the Frog to the Leaper guy to kill Sam, and it's like, I feel like they're making it too obvious that she is the power broker, and I feel like that rug is gonna be pulled out from beneath us, and it's gonna be somebody else still after everything that we've seen. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm not invested. It's no big deal. But to me, I at least believe she could be. I wouldn't be surprised. But at the same time, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody else totally was the power broker. So there's a lot of stuff to unpack with these episodes. I kind of gather my thoughts and then put them out real fast. But if there's anything you think I missed, please leave a comment. Anything noteworthy. I know last week I was so hyped to talk about how much I hated John Walker. I didn't even mention the Dora Milaje fight scene, which was wonderful. And I actually rewatched it during the middle of the week just because it was that cold to see them boys, them girls get in there and whip them boys. It was very impressive. But anyway, I get those thoughts together so fast. So let me know in the comments if there's anything I missed that's noteworthy in the Black discussion about racial topics and how they was handled. And let me know your positions, especially my Black viewers, if you would have chose to be Black Captain America or not, or how you feel about that. Anyway, that's all I have for tonight. Enjoy yourself, guard your heart, come back and check out more videos with your boy.